humanity survived. Our ancestors have destroyed the world, and we had to pay the price. With over 100 years without sunlight. But we have prepared ourselves for our chance to make things right. They stole from us a life of happiness. Still, we will make the best of it. Even though Mother Earth is grim and tainted, we have managed to survive. And we will keep surviving.
Survival, crafting, base building, and city building all in one. Hello again there, friends and fans. Raptor here, and welcome back. It is good to see you here for yet another city builder, and like I mentioned, survival game 2, Endzone, A World Apart. If you love yourself games like Banished, if you like surviving Mars or surviving the Aftermath, then this game is definitely for you. We've showed this one off a few times on the channel, but now it is finally released on Steam, and there's raiders. So we're going to try out the new raider scenarios in the game. There's, of course, sandbox and a tutorial mode where you can build to your heart's content and learn how to play the game, but mini challenge modes too, with feelings of Banished, but also Frostpunk and a few other games in here. Endzone, A World Apart is finally more complete than it ever was before, and I think have made some great improvements to balancing. That was somewhat a little bit tedious, and now we will give it our first look as it is fully released for the first time, really. Thanks again, everybody, for all the support, too. By the way, thanks to everybody subscribing and smashing the notification bell and smashing the like button. If you did that, that's amazing. In the last year, there's been so many people joining the community. Birthday's coming up soon, and I'm just feeling great. So thanks again for joining me, and it's been a pleasure to show you these games. And I'm glad to see them coming out and being fully supported by the developers. If you take a look here at the review and preview, I know it's a huge amount of information, but you can see all the things that they've added, including raiders, which were a surprise with this new scenario. So, without further ado, let's get into it and try out Endzone, A World Apart, the Raider scenario. Let's go. And here we are. Home sweet home. And a base to be built, that is for sure. A few buildings already here.
Everyone has arrived at last. Since the raid, these people haven't had any home. Now there's a place where they can establish something new for themselves.
Let's build ourselves a new home.
It's going to be quite a challenge to get this site set up and ready. At least we have some watchtowers. We should go take a look at them. And word has it that the raiders are at loggerheads with each other. That gives us time we ought to make use of for preparations.
Let's do it. All right, we need to build a few more watchtowers, ammunition factory, metal bullets need to be... Oh, wow, we're actually more focused on building a base than we are actually trying to survive. Seems like we're going to build like a defensive wall here of towers and then have to try to survive. Interesting. What's the problem here? Damaged buildings. Okay, something has been damaged. Let's see, assign a builder at the town home. Or townhomes. The town hall. Of course, we'll have to build some homes and some other things. Let's see, building roads, repairing tools and things like that are all part of the plan in this game. Looks like we'll have to assign some people. This will be the most important screen we see on the left side, too, by the way, the professions. Let's immediately get people carrying water so we can get some supplies going. Looks like we'll need food and such, too. We'll probably play in slow mode. Looks like a drought is coming, too. This game throws a lot of information at you at once. So if you're overwhelmed and don't know what to do, don't worry. I played this a few times, and I feel that way every single time I play, mostly because they are new things to discover. And, of course, you're a little rusty after each playthrough. We're going to go ahead and grab ourselves a gatherer over here, which will, of course, grab things like berries, fruits, and nuts that might be inside the forest. And that's a great, easy way to kind of have a minimal forest go and gather stuff for you. Looks like we have some supplies here. House ruins. That'll give us some interesting stuff. Oh, and also a mark for salvaging. I think that would be a good idea. The interesting location. You really want to mark this location for salvaging through a scrapyard. The ruin will no longer be explorable by an expedition. Interesting. If we send an expedition there, they'll be able to get likely better supplies than normal. So we'll, or something special. So we'll see about that in just a moment. Let's go ahead and see if we can get some other buildings up. So we got water going here. We got somebody gathering water from a dock and then putting it in the cistern. We're definitely going to need more than that, but we also need to up our game. There's so much to be done in this game, an incredible amount of work that will have to be done in order to get things ready for us. All right, so the first thing I guess would be to, let's check here on our tasks. So we have low food reserves. That's why we built ourselves the gathering hut. We also need to build 2 more watchtowers and start building some ammunition factories and start producing that. Looks like we can also assign some workforces here. We'll at least get a couple of people assigned to the watchtowers to watch out for enemies. Kind of looks a little bit like the, I'd say the water tower, but it, of course, is a watchtower. There's technology. Oh, defenses and such, too. There we are. Watchtowers, siren tower, barricades. Cool. That's new, so I will have to figure out exactly how to do that. Expedition stations. I think the first and foremost top priority should be at least giving our people a place to stay. And we have a few homes here. I think we should probably prepare for a few extra homes than that. We also have the ability to place roads diagonally, so nothing is just a grid pattern anymore. Although it probably is important to build things in a grid because it's the most effective use of space. Build ourselves another hut there if we can and try to see if we can get all the stuff built there. There comes all of our workers ready to go. Shelter, of course, will help to take care of other refugees. And we have 12 people homeless, which is why we're starting to build those individual cabins. That, of course, allows them to increase their capacity into making love and making babies. And, of course, that means more workers, more people to fire guns, more people to do the jobs that need to be done. 41 people in the camp. 4 of them are children with no real problems of radiation so far. And with a little bit of supply, we're doing quite good. Let's see. We put all of our workforce on water. And we're going to try to put everyone else on construction. I think, actually, everybody else is on construction if they're not assigned to anything else. Up here at the top, that is. So people will kind of go do any sort of building project. I think we should just get everybody on building right now. As I mentioned before, this is the most important screen. Let's take a look around the map. I also assume the map is the same every single time. I could be wrong about that, but I think in this scenario, it is going to be the same. Although when you start Sandbox, it is procedurally generated with different types of seeds each time. We have ourselves the little jetty there, which that's where the water's being gathered from. Eventually, we won't be able to do that. Looks like our people will soon finish up the gatherer, so we don't want to assign that just yet, but soon. And we might want to build some warehouses and such for storage. Let's get cracking then on, forum. Let's see. Decrees could be imposed upon the settlement. Oh, okay, so it's like a little bit more of a town hall, advanced school, pubs. We need more housing for our people. We're going to build at least 2 of them. Looks like, well, one of them may have already been started down here. The workers are quite good at gathering supplies and bringing them over quickly, but the construction is a different story. Logistics. Oh, man, there is so much to this game. Looks like the water point is constantly filled with water and can consequently sort and travel routes. Oh, okay. So this is a distribution point for water, so that way we can make a daisy chain between lakes and such. So if, for example, we built a little jetty over here, this could be a halfway point for workers to go back and forth in order to transport it back to the camp. That's what that seems like. Wow, there is so much here. Upgrading roads, technology like the research station that we went over before, and decorations too, which are nice, as well as defenses. All right, well, first and foremost, the most important stuff is going to be food and water, and I think the enemy's going to be attacking soon. We got to defend against 3 major attacks. So they're going to get worse each time. Oh, here's another watchtower. Yeah, so it looks like we've got 1, 2. We'll have to build maybe one up here and another one down here. Looks like we got a pretty good defensive area. We can build there, our other one. Everything behind us is a giant mountain range, so that's good. Let's take a look here at what we're building, the Gatherer's Hut. And I think we can do a hunting camp, too. So those 2 alone will give us a lot of extra meat. And also, I think we can get things like hides, so we can make leather eventually. Perhaps. There we go. We'll put that down, too. We'll also have to start making cloth masks. So that'll require us to build a recycler or a scrapyard. And workstations will be needed for that stuff, too. So we should build a road, then. You get working on that. Let's see here, probably under logistics for that. A dirt road. Looks like we can also build a paved road. And food station and markets and other things will come along in time. All right, this will be a good spot to start our road. We can put industry along this, and then we can put housing all along the water, so that way it's close around the water station. and close to the food too, which of course we'll need a food station as well. Food station continuously stocked with food and can consequently shorten routes to food intake. Right, so people don't have to go directly to the source, but also it can be daisy chained together in order to basically resupply. Let's build that there. We should be able to take down these houses as soon as we build ourselves the, what is it here, the scrapyard. So that's going to be quite a useful building to put down. Unfortunately, it's going to be rather unattractive for our people. We'll go ahead and put the scrapyard up here. Try to keep it away from the homes as much as possible, but unfortunately, we're just going to get close to the population no matter what. It is raining, so we can also build ourselves a rain thing. The most important thing in this game is everything at the top, too. Everything's very important, but as you can see, we have electronics, which is on the right side, plastics, metal, cloth. We also have medication, which is herbs and such, radiation protection, tools, scrap, and wood, which are the two easiest things to gather. And it looks like we're using some of that right now to build the home. So we also should build ourselves a forester's lodge, maybe somewhere a little away from town, so that way they can get materials from over here. We'll build it, I guess, next to this building. We can also put it right here. That'll be a good spot for it. We can start cutting down some trees. That'll allow us to build those defenses. And then we'll get the forester's lodge down, which will give us scrap. So scrap and wood are two very important things to start with. Looks like water's coming in like crazy. That's why we built another one. We'll need even more jobs to get all that water. We have 9 people without homes, so we're working on that. More expeditions to be set. Let's go ahead and make sure that goes down too. So the expedition site is under, let's see, defense. Oh, also I forgot we can give tasks too. So already indicated for people to gather plants and gather resources by the scenario at the start. So that's good. They're gathering basic stuff until we can expand upon it. And a expedition station is huge. Man, that's a massive building, but we need that to get some extra supplies. So let's put that down over here in the clear area. And we'll probably put our ammunition somewhere nearby up there too. So this will be our gathering stations. Exploration, gathering, and manufacturing up here. And researching can be close nearby there as well. All right, everything seems to be going okay. Rich food is coming in. No real contamination so far. Remember, at this point, it's been 100 years since humanity has basically been sabotaged by people who blew up nuclear power plants and were anti-nuclear advocates. So there could have been much more going on than what we know. So we'll see very soon. Okay, let's go ahead and see here what we got. We got ourselves the house. At 9, we've got more to go. And we need to start adjusting our workers. Unfortunately, not a lot of the buildings are ready yet. So we'll do it by hand whenever they've, whenever we got everything ready to go. There we go. So we got 3 for the hunter. We still are building the gatherer's shack. Is there a way to make priorities for these buildings? I believe there is. We can cancel construction or build next. It looks like we can prioritize certain things. We probably do want the gatherer's hut to be next on us. We want food and water. And we can also assign a person or two to doing some of the workforce on food gathering. So this person will basically distribute all sorts of food, uncooked or processed. In this case, it can be both. I think they can cook at home, or they might not be as happy about it. Okay, let's go ahead and increase the amount of people for water. I'm going to reduce the builders now from the insane amount we had before to maybe just 5. A lot of work for them to do, but gathering supplies are now what we must do the most. We'll go ahead and assign 4 gatherers. They won't be able to do their work just yet. We'll go ahead and assign them to jobs so that way we can get a count of what we need. Everyone else who's on settler is basically logistics. In a sense, they'll be able to do small jobs and transport things around if assigned or if unassigned. Scouts and such are coming in. Food is a little low, as they mentioned, so we should probably also build a fishing dock, though that drought, when it comes in, will pull all the resources off the land. So essentially the deer will disappear. Fishing won't be available anymore. It'll be evaporated from the lakes. And, of course, the crazy amount of rain should come sometime after that, too. Usually it starts to rain after that, and it can be irradiated, so we'll need to be cautious about that. Let's go for that fishing hut, though. It's a good thing to have. And we'll try to build it next to the water. We want to try to keep our people pretty close to each other here, so that way they don't have to walk too far from their home. We'll try to build it over here. It's going to be a difficult thing to tuck in along this narrow shoreline. With the buildings behind us and with all the other buildings constructed, we'll find a good home for it right about there. Oh, just about. Oh, wow. Thought we had it. There's still 1 dot going. Yeah, that's a good spot right there. There we go. A little further than I would like, but it still should work. All right, we'll have 4 fishers assigned. And so now we have 4 or 5 on basically like borderline logistics / construction and small management. We can go ahead and speed up time now while we wait for everybody to build everything. That's going to be the most important thing, is that the builders kind of finish all the deliveries and such and do whatever it takes to build things. Man, we're off to a good start so far. I'm very excited to see this here. We also have our people being very high and content, higher rate of reproduction, newborn settlers. So the more stuff that we have taken care of, the happier they'll be. So they need to have confidence in us. Not having food is not enough. We can also capture animals for animal husbandry if we want. But for now, we'll go ahead and have them hunt over there. Meat is coming in. Fish will have to be the next thing. Let's go ahead and have that next. We need fish and meat, which are, I think, under the same thing. Food in general. And then, of course, water, too, which is just skyrocketing. We could never have enough of that, though, with the drought on the way. And food will be cut off, too. So we need to be cautious about that. Housing, unfortunately, is going to have to, unfortunately, stay unsatisfied for a little while, as we don't really have a lot of supplies in order to build everything needed. We do have supplies, but we really don't have the manpower for it, which I guess is a resource in its own. We'll go ahead and also have ourselves a road up this way with a few homes. Water and sandstorms bring new radiation. As you can see here, the soil is radiated, and it'll be quite dangerous for our people to eventually travel back and forth. And we'll have to give them some sort of protection from the workshops, which can then eventually provide protection for them. Looks like there's trading posts new, which is new to me. Many things have been added by the developers. Such a good job that they've done with providing updates and such. And that's why I want to see the expedition station, because truth be told, this will be the first time I've ever done this before in the game, is leading an expedition. So we should have a few people assigned to that, I believe. Scouts, I think. Oh, that's a different thing. I was thinking militia. We'll go ahead and get 2 or 3 people assigned to the scouting. And let's go ahead and open expedition. Interesting location. The site looks promising, but the radar doesn't show what exactly we're dealing with yet, Chief. We should send one of our scouts to check out the place first, and when we know what we're dealing with, we can then start an expedition on the way. Okay, let's go ahead and get going with the 2 scouts. Interesting location. Go ahead, waiting for the scouts. Looks like we have a few locations. This one being a hangar near our base. Literally right across the street from where we constructed it. It's literally right next door. And then there's another one here, too, that we can go to next. Looks like 1 out of 2. So we can send different scouts. Excellent. We can send 1 scout and 2 scout. This is the whole map, then. So this one's nearby as well, one of the watchtowers. So we have like 2 or 3 interesting locations. We could find food, canned food, maybe water. Who knows? All sorts of things could lie in store for us. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and wait for a little bit more time to pass. More building is going on. The workers are doing the best they can. Looks like most things have been constructed except for the houses. Fishing is doing a great job. I think there's an inefficiency if they overlap. The bonus on the fishing reduces. They could actually lose productivity if they overlap, I believe. But we can go ahead and play it that way just to pretend and to be ready for it. We got plenty of water in the cisterns at 3,000. I think we could build ourselves a water tower to store those things. Luckily, this scenario giving us a lot of resources to get ready. And we'll need to make sure we can fend off the raiders' first attack. So luckily, supplies aren't too big of a deal. I guess we're just kind of checking through here to see what we got. We'll go ahead and go with the water tower then to store things. When we're raided, it could also be right after a drought, so we could be extremely weak. So we want to be cautious for that. And it looks like housing has done a great job of making some more room here for additional settlers. We'll make a little neighborhood here. Oh, is this not even? Oh boy, OCD alert emotes in the comment section. Let's go ahead and put that here, here, and here. Excellent. And then we'll just kind of have the neighborhood go together like that. Not a lot of space here to work with. It looks like we have a lot of room, but honestly, when we start building the marketplace and whatnot, I remember it being such a large building, perhaps power. We want to try to have everything cluttered together. Eventually, we can move buildings like this, like the scrapyard. Speaking of scrap, let's go ahead and start cutting down and removing all the scrap from there. And we should be able to increase the amount of scrap we store. Let's see. Production limit is 500. Let's go ahead and max that out at 700. 800, 1,000 would be much better. And the same with the wood, which is close, but no cigar. 349. Not all the way there. What a good call. The hunting lodge is here. Oh, yeah, the forester's over here. I was thinking of the hunting lodge. That's it right there. We want 1,000 on both of these. We need more storage then. We'll clear out the tree lines around us so that way we can defend ourselves much more properly. Boy. Okay, well, we've got ourselves the fishing hut, the hunting lodge, and also the gatherer's cabin, and that's just still not enough for us to get all the food that we need. So we could probably also start farming as well. It's another good important thing to do at the start. Cultivated field, let's do it. We'll go ahead and start cultivating some fields, maybe over here. And I forget exactly what the most optimal is, but we'll start by like doing a 5x5. What's the smallest? Looks like a 6x6 might be the smallest. So we'll go ahead and try to do a, let's do a 12x12. Double the size of that and just try to produce something basic. We need to go down this way and down one. There we go. All right, we can pick a crop for this. It takes a very large amount of people to do this, too. And it looks like we only have 2 crops. So something called a zucchini and a cabbage. Interesting. I've never heard of these. I wonder if they're anything like cabbage and zucchini, but I guess we'll see. Slowly deleting the comment. There you go. I know what it's called. Yes, of course. Zucchini and what other produce was in there? Black salsify, sugar beets, potatoes, beans, hemp, tomatoes, wheat, squash, bell peppers, carrots, corn, and lupine. I think is well, I think that's Lupin the Third. Yes, the one of the good animes that I really like. Although I never watch it, and I'm just a fan of like one thing that I've seen once. Poser. Workforce is 4 on that. Let's go ahead and take a look back at our workforce. Farms are going to be nice because we've got plenty of people and plenty of rain. So this is really good. The water carrier is at 10 now. Let's see. Farmer, gatherer, fisher, hunter. Scrap collectors. We can go ahead and reduce that a little bit. Water's going to be a problem. We'll do scrap collectors 2. Foresters 2, and we'll make sure we increase more people to go for building. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and try to get more people on building so we can get more projects done and then assign workers to them ASAP, and the farmers should be able to do their thing. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. Now, I think they can also bring this raw food back, so people should be able to take things like raw fish, raw berries, water, and just try to make something out of it, some sort of a stew or something along those lines. All right, we still need our main goal, but of course, in order to complete that, our people need to not die to death. So that requires us to mostly focus on the food. I guess that's going to be our most important thing. Interesting, too, by the way, how we have watchtowers already built, but we need to research those. Must be unlocked in research. Yeah, that's kind of weird. Oh, we've already built 2 of them, but we need to actually unlock it. That's kind of a strange thing. I don't know exactly why that is, but I guess that means that we'll have to go to something like the technology and the research station in order to do that. Massive building, jeez. Right now we're basically panic building. Anything to get it done ASAP is important. Wow, it actually has a mod of it. Wait, research station. Yeah, it's an automated crane. It's some sort of oh boy, I wonder if that takes electricity. We'll have to see. We're probably building way too fast, way too inefficiently. I'm sure there's a lot of alerts going off. If you're listening now, you know if you... Oh, uh-oh. Okay. Things are perfect and fine, and they couldn't be better. Yes, of course. Okay, there we go. We have ourselves the hunting lodge. We could do some capturing soon. Go ahead and open that expedition menu. Are we doing any of those other expeditions? Send scouts around to other interesting locations. Let's go to the general store. Looks like there's a... Oh, here we are. Someone sprayed on the wall here is downright scary. Looks like a skeleton with horns that appears to be rising out of the floor. Who comes up with spooky ideas like that? Well, at any rate, the building is still in good shape. It's best if you sent an expedition here. We could send Karen. What exactly do you want me to do? This is interesting. We can take characters to do this, some of which have different skills or assigned to different jobs. Let's take our builders then. Let's go ahead and take a couple of people there. Don't really want to take anybody who's doing anything super important. Food is very important. Water, I guess, could chill, but I also don't want to back off on water at all. Advantages, settler badges. Advantage due to education. Ah, I see. Let's go ahead and take Julie and Brandon there. And let's send everybody there. Oh, wow, this actually reminds me of Anno when you send out your expeditions on that one. Like where you get different types of bonuses and whatnot. All right, well, let's start the expedition. The expedition is equipped with a small quantity of rations. Even though capacity for exists, the lower amount of rations the expedition has with it, less able it is to explore the targeted destination. Do you want to send off the expedition as planned or make changes? Let's adapt. Okay, let's go ahead and send more people. All right, let's go ahead with that. Oh, actually, can we choose... Oh, scrap tools. Okay, protective clothing. Neck scarves. Send a little bit of... You know, it's kind of weird. They're not going that far. Start the expedition, though. And let's see what happens. I've never done this before, so let's just give it a test. They are literally going next door here. The general store, that's literally next to their houses. Like, this is where some of them live. Wow, look at the details on the buildings. The end, hell. Really kind of reminds me of a city builder in, like, The Last of Us or something. That would be amazing to have some sort of an alternative game in that reality without the main characters. There you see one of the nuclear power plants that's been sabotaged or destroyed initially, and then, of course, took damage over time. Again, 100 years passing since the days of when this all began. Since the very beginning. Scrap tools, metal tools. This scenario is certainly giving us a lot of stuff to play with, which is a little misleading to me. This seems a little too good to be true with the amount of supplies that we have, but I've never really taken a full look at the scenario. Oop. Let me move this over here. The scenarios that have been just really well received and are interesting for me to see. I really like to actually see that in this game so far. Cabbage should be coming in soon. Very banished like that, isn't it? Greenhouse ruin. We'll have to tell our scavenger to go gather some stuff that's not around here. And it looks like our research building is complete. We can then start assigning people there. This is why we need more people to work on stuff for us. We'll go ahead and assign 2 builders. We have people on exploration. And we'll go ahead and assign some researchers, too. Go ahead and start research ASAP. We can gather knowledge this way, or demolish, which, of course, we don't want to do. Activate or deactivate production. So this will generate knowledge points. So it's not that we're necessarily doing research. It's that we're gathering points that we can spend later. There must be a way to do that through here, I assume. Yep. We'll have to go through level 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a large tech tree, it looks like, to be able to explore. Things like defense measures and barricades and siren towers. That's what we want right there, is the ability to unlock the ammunition factory and mine along with the sulfur. Okay, so we're going to need salt. Oh my goodness, this is much more complicated than I thought. Basically like we're turning into Bullet Town from Mad Max. Very interesting indeed. I really like this so far. We'll have to wait for our first attack coming soon. Very soon indeed. Metal bullets need to be produced. Rubber bullets too. Interesting. Where the hell are we going to get rubber from? Probably salvaging tires and other scrap. With the climate changing, I wouldn't imagine that there'd be any sort of limitations to what could grow here. There are sandstorms in this game and many other hazards that can affect our people. And food being one of them. You can see we're gathering quite a bit of food. And the drought is coming very shortly. I want to make sure these people are done as much as possible at producing food. It looks like they're entering now. Are they harvesting? They're actually... What are they doing? Yielding? Planting? Oh, they're planting right now. So, actually, that doesn't look like planting to me. Looks like the reverse. Unless they're planting as they're harvesting already. Who knows? 478. Food is increasing. Water is increasing. Population's increasing. We've got a lot of supplies. Now we need to start applying it correctly. We've got a lot of research going on. A whole lot of Mexican going on at Taco John's. That's also, well, something you'll have to think about a little bit. Okay, we got watchtowers that are occupied too. Apparently, we've got one person in those. Although they have question marks next to them, which makes me think that... Oh, you can set them to lethal or non-lethal? Ah, okay. Lethal or non-lethal. We can do rubber bullets or not. Interesting. So these 2 towers here, I think, are indicating where we could be attacked from. So from this side of the lake or from over here in this large opening. So we've kind of defended ourselves. We're up against a mountain. The enemy probably won't attack there. So we can definitely attack... let's just say this was... well, let's say this is north here that we're looking. So this would be the eastern side and the western side.
Really wasn't exaggerating. That mural on the wall is creepy, but somehow fascinating too. Was it maybe supposed to be a warning? Well, at any rate, it'll be easy for us to get into the building. Part of the rear wall has collapsed.
Oh, wow. This is kind of reminding me of how things go in the Surviving the Aftermath. Alright, they're at the back of the building. Progress 0. Loot and return or try it. Go ahead and try it. We're inside now, standing in the middle of a small store. Apparently everything under the sun was once sold here. Food, household goods, clothing. Stairs lead to the upper floors. Continue. Good. We'll look around the other floors. The stairs lead all the way up to the top floor. Which floor should we take a look at? Oh, interesting. Scrap tools. Go ahead and continue. Okay, the door's open, or to put it better, burst apart. Somebody actually did attach a heavy iron bolt to the door from the inside. We're standing in the hallway now. It doesn't look remarkable at first, but we'll take a look around. Okay, let's go ahead and try the Let's see. Maybe we'll find a few things in the bathroom or the study. Let's go in the study. Listen to those book titles: 5G and the NWO, chemtrails, Earth. Oh wow, we have a prepper, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. We can take 1 settler or 6 settlers to do this. Let's see. Something about screwed up people before the catastrophe. Oh well, at least they'll probably be good at a few laughs by reading by the campfire. Options been completed. Okay, let's go to the bathroom. No, we can't. Let's go to the bedroom. No, we can't. So it looks like we rolled with that one. Looks like it'll be a happiness thing. I think we can come back later if we want to. Top floor, second floor. Options been completed. Okay, let's go ahead and loot and return home. I think we can come back later. Expedition inventory. Loot and return. Bags are packed and we're ready. We'll see each other at the settlement. Safe trip home. Wow, it's kind of weird. They're like literally just feet away. But it's kind of cool that they had to like get into this building to do it. Looks like we can go back on another expedition to check further if we want to. So we're 27% looted. So the fact that we can come here is really cool. It's an ongoing expedition to return. And there goes our people now with all their backpacks and such. Be kind of cool if they had weapons on them. Alright, well that seems to be a really cool way to actually get materials in this game. That is new to me. Expeditions, I've never seen those before. And cool that they're actually so early in the game. Okay, we need to get that water tower up. We need people working here. We don't have any filtering going on here at the moment. I think we need to assign more people to the water tower specifically. Let's go ahead and get workforce limited here to like 1 each. And we'll go ahead and assign some more people to this building, so they can try to store water as quickly as possible. Alright, builders and settlers are good. We have a few people in fishing and hunting. Food is still not high enough, although we're only at 45 people, but that number will continue to rise, and then will bite us in the rear end. We have ourselves expeditions to go on too. Good to see. And a little bit of water in storage, 136. So we need to basically transfer things from the cistern into the water tower and then put things back into people's homes and whatnot. Location attractiveness seems to be a little low. And I'm not exactly sure why. I would assume it's probably the scrapyard. Well, they have houses, so it's not like they're going to be moving or reselling it anytime soon. But obviously they prefer some things to others. Okay, let's go ahead and start building a few more manufacturing buildings. We need to at least get our basic stuff up before we deal with the raiders. So that's going to be interesting. Let's see, technician, scrap. I think we want the recycler here to figure out what we can reform things into. We'll try to do that somewhere near a warehouse. I think what I'll try to do is we'll put a workshop here and here. And then we'll build a road with a warehouse there in order to store things pretty soon. Children decreasing because they're becoming adults, so they're actually aging, which is quite interesting. And pretty good, too, in order to let us have some more wonderful amount of families and stuff in here. More people to actually do some labor. Water's still an issue. Oncoming drought is going to be a big concern. We've almost saved up over 5,000. Wonderful. Plus the food. We can harvest now at the last second. Anything that can be salvaged, just grab it. And we're going to have to cut the farm off, and then the farmers can go do stuff. So this is essentially like winter in Ostriv, if you like that game as well. Of course, Ostriv, another wonderful game on the channel. A kind of an Eastern city builder built around Ukrainian heritage and whatnot. And it gives me some feelings of that every time the drought comes in. It feels like winter. And so, of course, everything will die. And this is why our people are grabbing as much food as they can. Every little bit will count. And you may as well shut off the fisher and whatnot. You can keep people there if you want to, but it's a good idea to try to get people assigned to something else like the scrapper or researching, or in this case, the manufacturer, where we can build scrap tools now. We'll go ahead and make a couple of those. Very important tools. So we're going to go ahead and put 2 of these people to work here. We'll go ahead and do scrap tools for the start. And then we also want ourselves the recycler. So that'll give us other things to process the scrap from. The things like metal and cloth and whatnot. And then we can craft that into even more items. More. We want more. Good idea to have about 4 of these. Tools are probably the first thing you want, as well as protection. We're going to make ourselves a tailor shop too. And now that we got pretty much everything done for the gathering of the first quote-unquote winter, right, the nuclear winter of dust, a dust storm, and we're going to go ahead and make a tailor's as well. Many of our settlers are forced to move across the wasteland unprotected. We should boost our production of protective clothing. I agree. Definitely something we're going to work on now. And the dust storm should have passed. It looks like it wasn't that bad. A little bit of a drought, not too big of a dust storm. More people becoming adults. actually a quite winnable scenario. We've actually survived that without little trouble, or too much trouble. With little trouble. I can't believe that. That's actually the easiest that's been. Wow, look at all these animals just walking around. Let's go ahead and get the hunter to maybe try over here. There we go. Animals just walking around. They don't fear humans anymore. They've lost that survival instinct. Okay, we'll have 2 of these produce cloths, so that way we can start making protective masks to be the very basic. And that tailor will have to go up in order to start making those. Wow, upgraded workshops, upgraded tailors' factories, herbal huts. That's another thing that we need. Eventually. Not immediately. We can wait on that a little bit. We still have some more supply coming in. But everybody's doing a good job. We are completely out, though, of... yeah, we're completely out of the protective clothing, so that is going to be a top priority for our people in order to get it done. Very nice. Alright, so we can go ahead and assign more people for cloth. We'll try to bring as much cloth as possible. 31 is a good start, but not as much as we want to see here. We'll go ahead and assign 4 people here to work at the workshops to do that. And then the next priority should be this building here. We're going awfully fast, but there's a lot to see in a short amount of time. And those raiders, that's why you're here. You want to see things blow up. You want to see a fight. I do too. It'll be my first one. We'll see exactly how we can do here. And look at that. The food jumping right back. We were very low. Of course, the farm fields here were dead. The fishing was dead. Takes time for things to grow back after the drought. So really there's no food gathering except for maybe animals after a drought like that, and it's good to see all that water coming back into storage with minimal effort being put towards their storage. A lot to do, a lot of ways to optimize, a lot of ways to get things going better and faster, but this seems to be pretty good. We have another drought on the way, and we now need to start worrying about food and clothing, so let's slow things down again. Let's start preparing with our cabins. And I'll be doing if you wanted to see how sandbox worked in this game, or maybe just a regular survival mode, like how the game is kind of meant to be played with a kind of more of just a generic settlement with no scenario, then we'll be doing that on the channel, and I may possibly get extra keys from the developers to give away to all of you. So again, make sure you follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and wherever else, as well as our Discord. All the links are in the description. If you don't have it, make one and jump on so I can give some giveaways to all of you who might be interested, as the developers certainly do like to show off their game, and they're quite proud of it. Unhappy settlers. Okay, now we're going to have to start working on improving moods now that all this stuff is taken care of. Great, the tailor is done, so that should start improving the mood. The radiation protection will be increasing. Oh, good. Excellent. That's only major problem right now is that. We'll go ahead and start switching out these recyclers to do other things. So let's go for metals, so that way we can start making metal tools rather than scrap tools. Well, right now they're using some of that scrap there, and they'll start producing other things here. We're going to start making a little bit of everything, so that way we can try to survive and possibly make rain catchers. It looks like it's going to be a good opportunity to make rain catchers, essentially for free. It is a free way to capture water, and all you have to do is put it back into the water tower where it can be filtered, and that'll take a charcoal kiln to do so. We'll go ahead and put a couple of these down. Put a couple of water rain catchers down, and then we'll start with the charcoal kiln too. Yes, so protective clothing is horrible right now. We have none whatsoever. We'll have to make sure that we've got our our workers working on that full tier right now. Excellent. We'll try to probably put some more workers on that. How are we doing? Just 10 settlers. Let's make sure food, water, and everything else are looking good. Refiners are working at full bore, full blast. Militia, we could assign a few more people to security. We got to go out on those more of those scouting missions, but we'll take care of that in a little bit of time. We'll slow down time one more time, and it is now time to build another tailor. So let's go back to the resources, to the tailor shop, and we'll go ahead and make another one of those. And we'll try to put more farms and such along these ways. Now, really interesting thing to keep in mind about this game is there's a good amount of information on everything. Things like radiation of soil, soil moisture, as you see here. We have attractiveness of the locations they want to live in, buildings that require electricity or that could be improved upon it, building conditions which will require maintenance or repair after attack or whatnot. Let's see. We need to also have 20 people in our militia, so we're going to need to have a huge amount of people to maintain them. It's almost going to be like a 2-to-1 ratio for people who will need to get water and to get food for them, and it's going to be interesting to see if they actually have enough food and water to get things done. All right. Looks like the deer are on their way around. I wonder if we need to... It would be cool if this hunting post was adaptive and would just have like a large circle around it, or that you could send them to specific spots, because a lot of these deers are migrating around our site right now. Okay, 2 more of those water gatherers are going up. Food is going pretty good. I think I want to assign some more people to be farmers now before we see another drought. But protection is the top priority. And also housing. Wow. I forgot in this game too, by the way, housing is an incredibly troublesome thing. At least it was before. And it seems like it's kind of this way here too still. Where 11 people need homes. I think it's, what, 4 people can live in each home? So it's always constant improvements, always making changes, always manufacturing more and more and more, and never stopping with a game such as this. Unfortunately, we're going to have to stop here for today, and we will see ourselves some raids next time. I know you want to see them, so make sure you subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and jump onto our live streams where we'll play some more scenarios where raiders probably come in the basic scenarios too, and I'm sure you can turn those things on and off, or at least play these scenarios for more. You guys have been fantastic. We've only merely scratched the surface of this one, so thanks again for cheering me on. Glory to Raptoria down below in those comment sections from all the members. Get excited for perhaps a full playthrough on this one. Otherwise, a first look at the full release of this Endzone, A World Apart, available now on Steam. I hope you enjoy it. I did so far, and I hope to see more updates from the developers very soon on this one. I'll see you guys next time right here on this channel. I'll see you all in the future. Maybe I hope we can survive. Please send help. I'll see you soon. Goodbye, everyone.